there's peace in knowing and being gentle with where you are, accepting a season that comes with a lot of capacity to read, and then accepting one just the same that doesn't have as much.
Welcome back to the Rooted Minds podcast, where we come together as a family to talk about books and our emotions. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about our seasons of reading and understanding and giving grace for our season.
Yes, I just love reading, but sometimes I find myself not reading at all. But I still have this feeling inside of me like, I love reading, but why is that? And I kind of want to talk today about just understanding the natural ebb and flow that comes with a love of reading, and kind of seeing what values are in both sides of it, when you're in the ebb and when you're in the flow. So I just wanted to start off by asking, like, what this looks like for you guys. Like, is it long periods of time where you don't read, or you work on one book really slowly, or maybe you're in a I'm reading 3 books at once kind of spot? What is that? What does that look like for you guys?
I just want to say, first of all, that I appreciate the way you're approaching this, because just saying that there is an ebb and a flow is a grace in itself.
Yeah.
Because we can allow ourselves, grace in how we process things and how we function and who we were made to be and all that. So first of all, I appreciate that. For me, when I'm in kind of this reading mode, I do still have to kind of pay attention to my own energy level, my body language, and that kind of things I'm processing. Because depending on what book it is, sometimes I need to read it slow.
True.
If it's a story with some heaviness in it, and I'm processing heavy things already. Yeah. For example.
You need to be gentle with yourself.
I need to be gentle with myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Even how you read
slows down
That's good.
the process.
Even within the book.
Yeah, within the book. So that was
That's good.
I think for me, I know you're not talking about literal like winter, spring, summer, fall seasons, but I've tended to in the past have a winter like hibernation. I'm kind of like a introverted person that flows as an extrovert occasionally, but like sometimes there's just like this spot where I just like want to shut off from the world and
bundle up
and read. And there's like something that's really like healing for me in that, and restorative from the books, and it gives me like strength and energy to do the thing that I really want to do, which is love people well.
So good.
And so even though it is like a literal seasonal thing, it's kind of like a I
mean, that's normal, like, to have it. It doesn't have to be a season is what I meant.
Well, I think it's interesting because it's like a lot of times the actual seasons are connected to our real seasons. Like I'm thinking about like when I was in college, I was reading a lot, but I was reading a lot of textbooks and different kinds of books. And so I was reading a lot, but just not
for fun.
What I was choosing. Yeah. And so, I've had those kind of seasons where I am like taking in a lot of stuff and I sort of have to pace myself in a different kind of way. I've had, moments where it's like, in the wintertime when school is out, and we can be together as a family around Christmas, and those moments are really sweet because then we can dive into a book and sort of binge read a series or something like that, which is its own sort of beauty as well.
Yeah, well, these are great insights into you guys' patterns of reading and not reading as much. One thing I was kind of curious to ask about was like this idea of what could be an advantage or a benefit of having these natural seasons of harvesting and then in an intensive reading season to one where you read less.
Yeah. I really feel like it's, as you're saying that, I really feel this almost like you collective on a lot of like deep, beautiful insight and information, and you have to have a season of I need to soak it in and I need to allow myself to digest it, because it's almost like when it rains too much and then the ground can't soak it in. it's almost like your self is naturally telling you that
I can't take any more.
Yes.
Something that used to
Exactly.
happen to me when I would read chemistry textbooks was I would fall asleep. Like, I wouldn't be tired, but it was this thing that happened to me where too much information, like I reached a peak, a max,
Yeah.
and like I would just like start dozing.
Yeah, and it's interesting that sleep is generally known for like when you like your body does a lot of stuff by itself and your brain processes a lot of stuff while you're sleeping, so it's also interesting that
So maybe you're just processing.
Oh,
your
that's
chemistry.
I needed to
Still learning.
What I took the doze as was a
Chemically
need for a
processed.
pause. I need to
Uh-huh.
stop
Yeah.
and process some of this. But what you're saying, it's an intentional kind of thing.
yeah.
Like, yes, we
Yeah.
process in our sleep, but I think what you're saying is kind of more intentional
Yeah, for sure.
than asleep. It's digesting in a way. What would you guys say that could look like?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a natural process that God made. I mean, it may feel like a random metaphor, but like cooking a steak or chicken or something, where you cook it and it's cooking, and you and then you stop cooking, and then you let it rest, right? And then you can digest it in a way that is.
Well, if you let it rest, it retains all the juice.
Retains
If you
the
cut
juice
it
when
too quickly,
rest.
the juice flows out, and then you have really dry meat.
Yes, exactly.
And nobody wants to eat that, and it takes forever to chew, and it's just not fun.
Yeah,
It's a very
So
good
we all have
analogy.
these
So true.
this sort of flow in our life of high energy moments and low energy moments,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just natural.
Yeah.
It reminds me of our last episode where we talked about like journaling or how to save what we've read. And I feel like those kinds of practices are exactly what could be used in the I'm reading less season
Yeah.
to process, or maybe in the high intensity reading seasons, you use these practices to save it. And now when you're reading less, you can
Right.
go back and remember
Mm-hmm.
and retell those stories and just let them sink deeper.
And honestly, it's just like it's super helpful and encouraging to talk about it in this way and talking about giving grace for those times when you're reading less. Because like for me, my tendency when I'm in a reading less season is to compare it to like time in college when I was reading so much. And to think that like I'm not doing enough or feel guilty about my amount of reading, you know, even though it's something I'm choosing, you know, it's like still like can feel that way. It's very real. And so, but the grace is kind of this admitting that the Lord is with you in your reading practice, and that, you know, in the season of reading less, he's still like guiding you and guiding your heart. And so like I'm kind of in a season of reading less in a way, or just like taking a long time to read the books that I'm reading. But it's been kind of good because the books that I'm reading, the one that I'm thinking about specifically is called All the Light We Cannot See. I've taken forever to read this book. But also this kind of book, it's like every single word is poetry. Like it's so beautiful. And so I think maybe there's something about the Lord like letting me slow down in this time and not just speeding through it. That's allowing me maybe to soak it in a little bit better than if I had just tried to
Well,
like,
it makes me think about like Bible reading practices. You know, like I've done the read through the Bible in a year.
Yeah.
I've done even faster versions where you like read through the New Testament in
90 days.
24 days.
Oh,
Or
24
we
days,
had one of
yeah.
those where it's just like you're really like churning through content. And like there's a definite benefit to that because you're getting to see the whole picture. You're getting to like just like inundate yourself with the scripture. But then I've also had a season where my heart was broken. And that was just too much.
Yeah.
I wasn't being gentle with my heart.
Yeah.
And so I read John 1 for maybe 6 months. Like
Wow.
really sitting in what does it mean that in the beginning was the word? And like I need to meet him again because my heart is broken.
Wow.
And my heart is broken because I'm not seeing him rightly.
That's so good.
That's great. Like I think about for me, back to the food analogy, I guess, because sometimes like I love good flavor, right? But if you just inhale your food, you miss it.
Mm.
And reading quickly can be, not always, because there are times when you got to eat and run, but literally, but at the same time, it's important to know how to savor.
It's not just fuel.
Yes.
It is fuel, but it's not just fuel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. That's so
And
good.
so like giving yourself this space to slow down and just like really focus in on one piece of scripture.
Yes.
You know the whole, but not feeling like this, I have to have the whole in order to like
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's cool to
for
me
this to be
that
good.
like it's cool that like that's just something that like you didn't choose necessarily to have less capacity to read.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that was part of the season you were in, but there's still something really beautiful that was happening, even though you weren't like, I'm gonna make this beautiful thing happen in
Right.
my heart.
Yeah. That's true.
I think I should read John 1 for 6 months
because we aren't
so
the
that I
authors
can really
of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like for me, sometimes there's this mindset, and you could relate it to seeing the world. Like, oh, I want to see everything. Like, I want to travel the world and see it all before I die. Like, I got to get going because there's not that much time, and like this urgent mindset. Or think about all the amazing books that are out there, classics, or
No, that's so true.
culturally educating books, or beautiful fiction stories, or poetry, or Christian like theologians. Like, there's so many things out there, and it's like I have 56 weeks in a year and this many years of my life.
52.
52 weeks in a year. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm getting ahead of myself, but
It's okay.
like you just start analyzing how much time you have
Yeah.
and how many books. Like, there isn't enough time, is my point. There isn't enough time, and you can go at it like guns blazing, like with this urgency to do all that you can. But I think there is a value and grace in understanding, like, not only your current season, but just like the
long game.
long game. Yeah.
The bigger picture of you as a reader.
Right. That there's peace in knowing and being gentle with where you are.
Yes.
And accepting a season that comes with a lot of capacity to read.
Yeah.
And then accepting one just the same that doesn't have as much.
Yeah. And in that acceptance, not comparing your season to someone else's season, seeing someone, a friend or a family member that is in a season of having a lot of capacity to read. Maybe you have less, and that's okay.
Exactly. Yeah, so I think there's just this deep value in just that acceptance of both the ebb and the flow of the season that I think actually enhances your relationship with books and reading, whether it's like processing and digesting or sitting in it and soaking in it slowly, valuing the poetry or being gentle with yourself. Like, all of these things I think are actually super positive, and just kind of reshaping your perspective.
Yeah, just as important as being able to have read the whole series or
Exactly.
or read all of an author,
Yeah. Oh, this is such a beautiful topic, such beautiful ideas. Thank you for leading us in this. We'd love to hear your thoughts on what seasons are like, what reading period you might be in, whether that's you're reading a lot right now or you're in a season of reading a little bit. We'd love to hear from you, so comment below and we'll have a discussion with you. Thank you for joining this episode. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks again for joining us on the Rooted Minds podcast. What do you think about this idea of seasons of reading? Share your experience in the comments. Until next time, may you find joy, grace, and peace in the pages you turn.